Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport, and welcome to Model Kits Tuesday. So this week we're seeing quite a large model kit, and this is a Mack CF series fire truck. So we're very much in the United States of America. This is one of the typical American fire trucks, and as you probably know, in the United States, there are counties or cities or states where fire trucks are painted red and others where they're painted yellow. In this case here, we're seeing a yellow one. So this is a snap-tite, a monogram snap-tite model kit, which it says here, snaps together, no gluing. Mack fire truck with high-intensity searchlight. And this is a model that I built when I was before 10. I was definitely either 9 or 10. And my grandmother in Glasgow bought me this. So I'm really very attached to this kit. And she bought me it I remember it was we were in the toy department at Lewis's department store in Glasgow on Argyle Street. And I'd already started making some model kits, and she just said, "Oh look, this says no glue, this could be easy, we'll get you this." And I built it at the time, but I never painted it. And then it sat around in my ex room. Then eventually, before one of the various, ended up in a wooden box, packed away. Then we had at least 2 flittings. Flitting is Scots English for house removal, or Scots English, Northern English, so England, from the north of England. Instead of saying house removal, we say flitting, and the verb to flit, which means to move house. Probably in Northern Ireland as well. I'm asking Ian, Bugler75, if he can confirm that you also say flitting in Ulster. But it's a word of Scandinavian, of Norse origin. It's fluten. In Norwegian they also say it. But anyway, why am I talking about flittings? Because this model ended up in a box, in a wooden box, which ended up in my parents' garage. And it just sat there for years, and until summer 2022, when I was looking for various odds and ends of mine, came across this box, and I brought it home. And I've got all the photographs of when I did the job, so we'll actually assemble, we'll make a photo video showing all the various phases of the restoration and completion of this model. And my grandmother passed away in 2016, and she was the very last of my grandparents to die, and it was like, I don't know, I was attached to her. I was attached to all of them, and maybe that was the very last link that I had to my childhood in Glasgow. So it was a particular event in my life. And, I mean, yes, these things happen, that's it, that's life. But in 2022, when I brought this back, and I'd started, I started making models again. That was in 2022 is when I started again, and this was the second job I did, because the first job was a 132 scale, same scale as this, because this is 132. It's written there, 132 scale. Airfix Volkswagen Beetle, which we'll talk about next Tuesday probably, seeing we're in non-military stuff at the moment. And so first I built that kit, practiced painting because I'd never painted anything. No, I'd never painted any models before. And this was the second job I did, where I had already refined some painting techniques, and I had started using Vallejo paint. So this let's have a look at the model, and you can see the box in the background. You'll see that the original golden decals, which were not decals, they were stickers, they were just stickers, they weren't decals. There's Glenview, engine number 4, then there was E4, engine 4 on the roof, another Glenview Fire Department. There's also the sign at the back, keep back 500 feet. And those, I had stuck them on the just unfinished, the non-painted model, which was all yellow, of course, when I was a kid. And probably humidity in the garage, or whatever, I don't know, those stickers decayed, they evaporated, they disappeared. I mean, when I took this thing here out of the box in the garage, apart from the fact it was smelling humidity, and it was rather stinking, they disappeared. They're completely evaporated, gone. Probably some chemical reaction, and they disappeared. So I decided, after completing the paint job, I decided to make my own decals. And at the beginning, I couldn't find the box because this box was actually in my ex-bedroom, but I wasn't able to access that part then. And I came across the box after I had finished the model. And so I found photographs on internet and of the model, and I looked at lots of photographs of the real thing, of real Mack CF fire trucks. So I had a real saved lots of photographs, and so many of the details that you see on the model are based on real machines. And we'll go into detail now, we'll talk about it now. But what I wanted to show you right now is that here it's Glenview. Of course, I can't make golden decals, that's impossible, so I just bought myself some black normal decal paper for a laser printer, and I decided to rename the fire engine as the fire truck, if we want to speak in American English, as a fire truck of a certain Hinslewood County. And I also found here I found a logo, a typical fire department logo, and then modified this as Hinslewood County. And why Hinslewood? Because Hinslewood was my Scottish grandmother's maiden name. She was called Eileen Hinslewood, and then she became Eileen Spears after marrying my grandfather, Alexander Spears. So considering my grandmother gave me this as a present, I decided to, as a form of remembrance towards her, I decided to complete the job after a long time, because I think I got this in maybe summer 84. I think it was summer 84, so it was 8 coming 9. And I completed it, meaning I refurbished the model, took it all to bits, it was just snapped together, took it to bits, washed it with water and dish detergent, got rid of the smell of humidity, degreased it, and then I began repainting it. And I just painted the white part, the aluminium and the details. I didn't bother with the bodywork because it was already yellow. And I had a look at lots of fire engines, and I decided that many of them were not really a shiny, glossy yellow, so there was no point in painting any varnish on top of this. So I just left it as it was. And American vehicles are really very interesting because they have this sort of fire trucks and industrial detailing on them. They're really nice. I've actually seen a very similar fire truck in real life in the American base in Vicenza in Camp Ederle. I was in Camp Ederle in 2010 for an interpreting job for an agency in Vicenza, so it was very interesting. We were 2 days in the base, and went to go to some offices. It was for logistics, not for anything military, but we went to go to the offices, and there was the fire truck parked outside because they have the internal fire service, the firefighters. With this fantastic, I think it was, and maybe it was something a bit more recent than this. It wasn't a Mack CF, red and white. It was absolutely stunning. And at the time, there were no smartphones. I had my digital camera in my bag, but it wasn't the case of whipping out the digital camera and taking a picture in inside of the American military base of Camp Etherley. It would have been a very bad idea. So that photograph is in my brain. Okay, so apart from that, we can have a look at there are still some things that have to be completed here, like the keep back 500 feet sign here, that I have to sort of work out how to make, because my printer is black and white, just normal monochrome prints in black. So I have to apply some white letters, keep back 500 feet. I've already designed a decal. It should have a red background, but it should also have white letters. So I don't really know how I'm going to get around that. I might I have to work away at doing it. I don't really know. I might even repaint that in black, or I'll have to see what to do, how to get around this problem here. It might even be an idea maybe to get some white decal paper and print out the white letters. That might be also an idea, and then just put them on one by one, which would be a bit of a job, but we'll see what to do. It's not really something super urgent. Or I could even just outline them, then paint them, and then put them on. Now, it might also be an idea. So we'll see what to do. That's a job we'll do together. Anyway, there were some missing parts, of course, because the fire engine, after considering the wheels turn and everything, it's quite a toyish model kit. I'd played with it plenty, and so there was, you can see here, there was a missing, probably they're in the bottom of that wooden crate, there was a missing spotlight here. For some reason, the rear red lights, flashing lights were missing, and so I rebuilt the missing parts using, I used these things here. I'll show you exactly what I used. Just a moment, because I found one in here. I used this kind of stuff here. These are those little plastic tubes that are fitted to the top of the paintbrushes when they're new, to keep the paintbrushes protected. So I used lengths of these, bits of styrene, thin slivers of styrene, and I remember using blue tack to fill in the back, but of course the blue tack has shrunk, so this would actually need some more attention. I would actually have to look in that crate and understand if this spotlight, the missing spotlight, is actually still there, because I could take this off and fit that on. And I did the same thing with the missing spotlights here at the back, which could be improved nowadays as I use the acrylic diamonds. And the paint is a mix of it's a mix of Vallejo paint. So that was the very first time I used the Vallejo aluminium paint, which is absolutely fantastic. And matte black is also Vallejo. The red for the hoses is also Vallejo. This brown here, this shade of brown, a sort of beige, I mixed that, mixing white and Vallejo white, gloss white, with some nasty brown Airfix paint from the Volkswagen Beetle, the one that we'll see in an oncoming episode. And it was great fun to do this. There was missing here, for example, on this fire hose, you can see the lower one, there was a missing kind of handle for turning it. One was missing, and I rebuilt that with, as you can see here, I rebuilt that with styrene. And what I did when I reassembled the fire engine, I used glue. So I glued everything, Tamiya cement, and I glued everything down. And you can see I sort of did the dials as well, lots of details. And another thing that had happened in storage, there's another weird effect of humidity in my opinion, is that in some points the chrome plated plastic had decayed, and you could see the yellow plastic shining out. And so that's why you see that some parts have been touched up with aluminium paint and then with clear varnish on top to get a gloss effect. Even here, the Mack handrail with a dog, a typical Mack bulldog here at the front, that had also decayed. Here you can see that I also took care of the cab detailing, because I dismantled this and I painted the seats, and then I looked at lots of photographs, and I saw that the inside of the doors in some cases was painted black. And what I did, I also, let me see some light. Let's fill in, spot a light, and we might be able to see better. You can see on the inside of the door handle and the window winder, I just painted them. I painted them with silver paint and to touch them up to make it more realistic. It's a great model because it's very solid. You can just hold it up in your hand and turn it around without fear of anything breaking off. Let's see in here. This LED light is pathetic. You can see I improved the dashboard as well. Maybe, hold on. Let's do a thing. I think it's better if we just do like that and we get rid of this terrible LED light, which is utter junk. Okay, let's see if I can show you in here using that lamp. Ah, yes. We can go like this. Maybe I'll use a warp light, that might be more. Ah, yep. Oh, there we are. Okay, now we've got strange flashing frequency because of electronic light, but you can see the detail. I painted the center of the steering wheel. There's some warning lights, warning bulbs on the dash, and I fitted it with a gear lever because there was no gear lever in here. Trying to see if maybe I can go with this one. Trying to spotlight in here a bit. If you can see that, hold on. Maybe we'll do like this. Yeah, better, that's better. We'll just hold it up to the light. Problem solved. You can see in there, let's see if we can improve high-tech video here to see the details. You should be able to see that let's see if we'll put the spotlight on again. The lighting is a disaster in here. Sooner or later this will come off the wall with the whole shelf with the lamp. Okay, I'm trying to show you the gear lever because it was missing. It didn't have a gear lever on it fitted. There's no gear lever, and so there we go. You should be able to see, yep, there it is. Big long gear lever. And I used a bit of wire, I think it was a bit of paper clip, glued underneath, and I made the knob with a spot of glue and glaze. I think I used, maybe I didn't have glue and glaze yet. No, I wasn't using glue and glaze yet. I discovered that later. I used a spot of super glue, I think, to make the knob there, or something else. Or no, or maybe it was glue and glaze. Maybe it was glue and glaze. I think it might have been glue and glaze, yes. Yep, it's glue and glaze, definitely. Definitely. It was when I bought the glue and glaze, when I did this job here. And then, mentioning cab detailing as well, this is turning into a long video. If we look in there, I lined the roof. I made white roof lining using a piece of 0.30mm styrene. You can see all the various switches on the dashboard. And then I also painted, I'm getting rid of this horrible LED light that makes everything look squalid. Here you can see the roof. I painted the roof with various coats of, it's a bit dusty now, in fact, hold on, I dusted it before the video and it's still dusty, there we go, with various coats of Vallejo gloss white. And to really, this is the thing I learned working with the gloss paint. It's, of course, you apply the first coat. I didn't use any undercoat here. I should have used, I started using undercoat later. If I'd used undercoat here, I would have probably saved a lot of work. But I used, at the beginning I applied a thick coat of white paint, and then a thinner, and then I applied, to get the really nice glossy finish, I applied various coats of very, very wet paint. And then once it was dry, I think that made a very nice film, and the result is actually quite good. And in here I did all the cab. I checked the real thing. The inside of the crew compartment to the back is yellow and not white. And then let's have a look underneath. So here's the painted the chassis black. All the running boards and things silver aluminium underneath, because I managed to find videos on YouTube and photographs. And then here at the back, beside the rear wheels, you can see that there are lockers, no, for equipment. And those lockers were just empty at the back. There was nothing there. So I had a look on photographs and videos online on YouTube, and I actually made my own lockers, cutting out I don't think it's maybe 0.75 styrene or 0.30 styrene, I can't remember. Maybe it was 0.75. I used 0.75 styrene for this. No, I used 0.30 styrene. This is 0.30 styrene. And at the time, I wasn't even using a proper cutter. I was just using an old penknife, my grandfather's old penknife. So we're really at the early stages of model kit building, in this case here, and customizing. So those lockers, and now you see this one here, and the one under my thumb, I scratch built them to increase realism on the underside of the fire truck. And I had always, when I was a kid, I was always watching, I was looking at this. In fact, I kept the box. This is a lid of the box, and I was always wanting to paint it. I'll say, sooner or later I'll paint it, sooner or later I'll paint it. And I was very pleased when I was imagining, you know, painting it and doing the chassis and the exhaust pipe. I always loved the exhaust pipe and the silencer or muffler on this thing here. This great big silencer. And you can see that I painted the tip black. And what else can I say about this? It was just good fun to paint it and to do the job. Very relaxing job. And I still have to detail the Trelex wheels better, because yeah, even in photographs there should be like that. So the whole spoke disc part in yellow, apart from the various bolts. So what I have to do here, I have to pick out the spoke part in yellow. But the thing is that when I did this, I was a bit undecided what to do, and such nice chrome there that I just said, let's see that they've customized and they've chromed they've chromed the spoke parts, because we have to also remember that many of these fire trucks are highly customized, because each fire department in America, each fire department in the United States they tend to customize, or they have certain specifications, and they take great pride in their fire trucks, to use the American term. I would generally say fire engine or fire appliance. That's it. So this is a touch of America, and it's a very personal model for me. Really very, very personal, because this was a present from my grandma so many years ago. And to cap it off, we'll just say a few words about the real thing. So Mack CF series fire appliances, which come in various guises. There's this is a pump and searchlight truck, but there would be escape ladders, there would be snorkels, all sorts of different applications to this chassis. They were built between 1967 and 1990, and we were fitted with a Mack. Hold on, I've got some notes here. A Mack EM6 237 6-cylinder diesel engine with 235 horsepower, coupled up to a 5-speed manual transmission. So, in fact, I made a little gear lever for a manual transmission in a cab. Mack produced and delivered fully assembled fire trucks until 1984. And until 1990, they were just producing the chassis, and then it was being sent to coach builders for finishing. And so that's that. So this is a very, very American fire truck. And there are still some little details I'll have to do, like these decorations here. I didn't do them, and maybe I won't be making these fleur-de-lis at the front, because I wrote great big Hinslewood Fire Department, Hinslewood County at the front here, engine 3. But I based all the text, the typeface and everything on existing vehicles, so to sort of make it as realistic as possible. And I don't know, maybe there is a place called Hinslewood in the United States. Maybe I looked it up. So that was that. The Hinslewood Fire and Hinslewood Fire Department, Hinslewood County. Wonder where it is in the United States. Who knows? That's that. So that's my American fire engine in 132 scale. And here we can have a look at the original box. So I'm very pleased this here came home. It says here, with all the excitement in the fireman's life, it's still a serious business, and there's nothing more important to the safety and efficiency of a firefighter than the dependability of a Mack fire truck. This Mack cab forward fire truck is super detailed in 132 scale, and blah blah blah. Here's the length, molded in color with clear and plated parts and appropriate decals. I think maybe they were decals, but I don't remember putting them on with water. I think they were just stickers. Detailed chassis, etc, etc, etc. Blah blah blah. Kit snaps together, no gluing needed, may be painted to match photos on box. 1982, Monogram Models Incorporated, Morton Grove, Illinois, etc, etc. And this kit is actually still in production, because if you look up videos, you'll find that this kit is still in production. Very often it's molded in red nowadays, but you can still buy one of these. So if you want to ever buy one and make it the way you like it, or build it, you can still find this one here. It's the same molding. It's no longer molded by Monogram, but by another company that bought the tooling. So it's a bit big. The only problem is it's a bit big. So I would like to make another one, but it is a bit big. It takes up a lot of space. It usually stays up there, and you can see that right beside it there's the Volkswagen Beetle in 132, which I'm planning to get another one of them and make a replica of my grandfather's Beetle. My grandfather had a Volkswagen Beetle, my Italian grandfather, 6 volts. Okay, very well. So, cheerio, and see you next time from Hanslewood County in the United States of America. That was my very phony American accent. Okay, very well. See you next time. Ciao, ciao. That was a long video. 30 minutes. Ah, and one last thing here like Lieutenant Colombo. You can see that the front windscreen is split, right? In the model kit, it's not split, it's a single piece, but these Macs all had split windscreens. So I didn't have any profiles at the time. I just cut a strip of 0.30mm styrene and made the windscreen frame in the middle for the split windscreen. So I'd forgotten to tell you that. There's engine 3 up there. So very nice. Cheerio, and see you next time.